Once again, I kind of got intercepted by the ferrets. I needed to stop, give them lots of hugs, give Siri a kiss, otherwise she gets grumpy. Okay, now then. With only 1.8 cycles to go, I don't want to start my dupes working on anything really big, or rather I don't want to start working on anything really big because I'll get distracted and then I'll miss it. But we can definitely afford to do a bit more calling out. So let's get to that. Now eventually it would be very nice to have the whole map cored and all of the resources made available to every other part of the map. We'll see how we can get there. There's an awful lot of materials and just little secret things hidden in these areas. And we'll see all of that area can then be pulled out as well. Thunk. Now, tricky part here is we've got to be careful that no one gets stuck. Because you know what dupes are like. They will get stuck at a moment's notice. Give them even an inkling of freedom, and they will abuse it to get themselves trapped. And then Belial will make you feel bad for letting him die, for letting him commit suicide by running into a place he shouldn't have been, that you absolutely didn't tell him to, even if you did. Yeah. Belial is scallywag. So rude to make me feel so guilty about his dupe being a dupe. Doing dupey things. I.e. derpy things. There we go. Hello! Salutations, Aavak and chat. Currently watching Wander, so I'll just be lurking here. But I'll try to be active on stream races. You're welcome, mate. How you doing? Right. 14.2. Down here, got 1.6. I'll have you know, Aavak, my dupe only did as he was... See, he's doing it again. As he was told to do. No. I never told him to get himself killed. It was 100% not something I demanded nor wanted. Did that all on his own. Scoundrel, then blamed me for it. Hello, little Draco. Have we got the glossy Draco still? We do. I'm extremely pleased by this. Extremely. Got many hatches around as well. Got many things, actually, all over the place that we need to get to. I am a little bit concerned that this is going to be exposed to space soon, though. So much so that I think it may be to our benefit to just start walling this off now. Because, I mean... Strictly speaking, it's not the worst thing for it to be exposed. If we bring this down into the water, then as long as we don't let the water out, it should be okay. And the water can't actually escape. So it might be alright. If we just bring this down a little bit further into the water. We'll see. And if we bring it down to about there, it should be fine. There we go. That'll do. Oh, question. How do you handle overpressure in the barracks? Let me see what the pressure is currently. It's fine. Generally speaking, the easiest way is just to use gas vents rather than high pressure gas vents, because they won't produce enough pressure. But, you know, there are issues with it sometimes. Here and there. Can we get that made a bit of a higher priority? We'll also sweep everything out from up here. Also turn off this if it is currently active. It is not currently active. It is currently active. Yeah, we need to shut that down so they stop spending all their time running back and forth. Now, whilst they're working on that, and although I very much don't want to get distracted from watching the volcano activate for the first time, we need to start planning out where we're going to put the new spawn. We're going to need a steady supply of water to it. I'm kind of thinking over here, honestly, because it's really far out of the way of everything else. So much room to build, and there's a huge well of water above that I could actually drain down into here and allow to act as a bit of a natural reservoir. And then that will give me plenty of time to pipe things around as needed. I think that might actually be a good idea. One second. I'm so nervous about missing the start of that because we've spent so much time setting it up. So very much time. Okay, they're starting to dig down. Good, good, good. Getting a Slickster ranch is an important one because that's free oil, basically. Getting a Slickster ranch over here would be quite grand because it's very close to this oil. And if I'm perfectly honest, there's a part of me that wants to redesign the way that I've currently got this set up, such that we don't have the CO2 leaking in. We just vent that, which would be easy enough done with a low to the ground carbon skimmer. If we had like a large Slickster ranch over here, coupled with this oil well, coupled with this oil well, and then have the refinery nearby, but not in these rooms. You'd have a little bit of cooling going on down here. Not much. We wouldn't need much. These things don't generate a lot of heat by themselves, as far as I'm aware. Let's have a quick look. Refinement. Oil refinery. No, we want oil well. That'll be under utilities. Oil well, yeah. It produces 2,000 heat units. Is this still the ongoing map? Yes, it is. We're up to cycle 1,251. And Trenton, thank you so much for the Prime sub there. 3rd month, 2nd best month. And actually, on that note, I need to clear out all of the Dapper drinks, because I've returned with a Dapper drink. So my obligation is complete. Has been fulfilled. 0.4 cycles. Whoa, so close. So close. Very soon, Chad. Oh, so very, very, very soon. How is this one going? Oh, we're slowly getting out all of the fossil. I'm going to keep that active on the side just so I can watch. Well, actually, that means that one's only 12 cycles away, so we're going to start getting the influx of copper again. This one, I'm just really excited to see how much power we can produce, really. Oh, and Ita, thank you very much for the 5 gift subs there, mate. Diolch yn fawr. Yeah, Volcano in an ice zone. Well, it's not necessarily a bad time, as long as you don't activate it without properly insulating it. If you do activate it without insulating it, then yes, probably a pretty horrible time, actually. But for the time being, it's not too bad. 0.2 cycles left. Feel like we need some fireworks or something. Some way to properly celebrate this. But we'll settle with this one, I think. And the ghosts are back. Thank you very much for gifting a sub to Ita. That was incredibly kind of you. Thank you. It was incredibly kind of you. Right. Okay. 10 seconds. All right. It felt like it was 10 seconds. 10 seconds ago. Erupts in 8.8 cycles. Okay, so it doesn't start the eruption period at the beginning of the 9,690 seconds. It started at the end. Well, that was a massive pain in the bum. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I feel a little bit cheated. And by a little bit cheated, I mean a lot. I mean, I feel a lot cheated. I feel the game was playing silly buggers with us there. I feel robbed. Robbed. Oh well. Oh well. Of course there was going to be something like that happening. Why wouldn't they be? Let's get all of that done. But yeah, if we had a Slickster ranch over there, it would actually be quite a lot nicer for us to have our Slicksters all taken care of properly, I feel. You know what? To that end, it's time for us to link these zones up. And as much as I say I don't want to go through all of this, I think we can make it look a lot more natural if we mine it out a little bit more intentionally, like that. It will end up looking more natural. It won't be natural at all, but it'll look like it was. And that's just as good. This way, well, this already comes down far enough. Then we can hook them up with a little Slickster ranch over there. Okay, so we've got two things that we need to work on. Two projects that are both fairly important. One is a Slickster ranch, a proper Slickster ranch, which will then lead into redesigning some of the system that's dealing with our. Oh, we're getting fresh regolith in here. Fantastic. What's the overall steam temperature? It's rising. It's nice. Very nice. Down here, not too bad. Temperature of the regolith moving through here. Very good. There we are. We've got so much regolith. That's crazy amounts of regolith. You know what? At this rate, maybe we even want to set up a regolith melter. Oh, this tea is amazing. This nature just isn't natural enough. Yes, Magra. No, what I meant was, what I didn't properly convey, was that where I have previously cut through the nature, I have left it jagged and uneven. And in no way is there an illusion that it is natural. As a direct result, I feel the best thing for me to do is to cut more of it away so I can carve it and create the illusion of nature once again. So we don't need that part. That's what I'm saying. Look at that horrid jagged square. No, it's just not natural enough. No, we're gonna fix it. Tailspinner, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Oh my god, I just finished watching EcoVods, and behold, an Oni stream, which I will leave on in the background as I have work to do. But I so rarely catch live streams that I just wanted to pop in and say hi, and thank you, Aavak, for many hours of entertainment. Oh, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Have I played Dragon Quest XI? No, I have not, Ita. I have not. I haven't played any of the Dragon Quest games except for Dragon Quest Builder 2. My lord, I need to clean up this base. So much. Anemic, no. No one there is worth holding on to for now. But yes, chat, what do we want to do? Do we want to work on the spawn, or do we want to work on a Slickster ranch and actually give them a proper home? I know which one I would prefer to work on, but which one would you prefer me to work on? Actually doing a good job with this area. a sponsor ranch to eat oil and create OT? No. But it isn't actually outside of the realm of possibility to ranch slicksters for food. Long-haired slicksters consume O2. We can make O2 with water. So if you've got remarkable amounts of water, you can use water to make long-haired slicksters and then make food out of them, make barbecue out of them. You can turn water into barbecue at a more efficient rate than turning water into food via bristle blossoms. It's a bit more efficient. So, you know, it isn't as dumb of a suggestion as you might initially think. Shadow Hiss, no, the volcano is now active, but it erupts in 7 cycles. What I was hoping was that it would be the first 77 seconds out of the 9,690 seconds. That would all happen at the start. So we'd have 77 seconds of activity, and then we'd have to wait for a little while, for a long while, for 9,663 seconds. But no, it looks like it's the other way around, which is a little bit annoying, but we can wait. We can wait, which does mean, actually, there's a good chance the copper volcano will erupt sooner. No, the copper volcano won't. It won't even be active for another 10 seconds, so we've got plenty of time. But it looks like chat has spoken, and Slickster Ranch it is. Okay, so now, the thing with the Slickster Ranch that we've got to consider is we need heat. Slicksters, beautiful little critters that they are, thrive in hot environments. They consume CO2, and they excrete oil. Now, if they get really hot, they consume CO2 and excrete petroleum. Just straight up petroleum. CO2 to petroleum. It's a pretty nice exchange. A very nice exchange. At that point... Now, I forget the temperatures involved. Let's have a quick look. So, their comfortable range is 50 to 140. I think if they... The longer they are in a plus 100 degree environment, they will... The more likely they are to give birth to a molten slickster. If they're in a cold environment, so because their livable range is 35 degrees to 160, their comfortable range is 50 to 140. But if they're above 100, then they start accruing likelihood of giving birth to a molten slickster. But if they're below, I think, was it like 60 or something like that? Then they instead get more likely to give birth to a long-hair slickster. Now, generally speaking, long-hair slicksters are seen as a bad thing, in that more or less they don't produce anything. They don't produce oil from CO2. They just eat it. But they are beautiful. They are considered by the duplicants exceptionally pretty. We've got a long-hair lava egg there, and all it'll do is it'll eat oxygen. That's all it'll ever do. But it is very pretty. Very pretty, and the duplicants will really appreciate the look of it. So quite often, anyone who's got long-haired slicksters in their colony, they've got it for the morale boost. And they've probably got a little area in their main barrack or in part of a base where they're just allowed to roam free. In much the same way that some people will keep tropical pacu in aquariums at the floor of their dining room, so that as the duplicants are walking around, they can just look down into the crystal blue waters of the aquarium through the diamond window tile, and they can see these tropical pacu just living the life in the warm water. Long-haired slicksters are somewhat like that. However, molten slicksters, they've got a comfortable range of 90 to 250. They can live up to the sort of temperatures which will break something made of steel. In fact, I think they're 5 degrees lower. They can live up to 5 degrees below the temperature that a steel object will break down. It won't melt, obviously, because that's thousands of degrees, but it'll break if it's something that has an overheat temperature. But they do excrete petroleum. So ideally, what we want is a way of feeding them hot CO2. Really hot CO2. Hundreds of degrees hot CO2. Now the problem is the CO2 vents we've got generally produce cold CO2. Like this stuff is pretty chill. You can't use a space heater because the space heater will only go as high as 75 degrees. You can certainly use one to keep the critters comfortable. But a better way of doing it is to run a CO2 vent through a very hot area to absorb heat. The hottest place we've got is our industrial brick, but that's only hot some of the time. It's warm right now, but it will cool down, fair enough. Soon enough, rather. We could have it be an exit point for the coolant. Why is this not kicking in? Oh, its pipe is blocked. Why? Huh. There we go. That's not good. That's really not good. No, we need a flow limiter here, and the reason for that, and this is what I was talking about earlier, is right now, liquid is moving in here in full packets. This is the problem. This is the problem. It's because liquid is moving through here in full packets, it's blocking the exit pipes for all of these. Instead, I'm afraid I need these to merge onto the line rather than get priority like this. Damn. Because these can't vent out otherwise. That's a bit of a problem. Gonna have to have a look at that. But oh well. It's something that we'll look at in a little bit. Like I said, the focus we're gonna have now is gonna be on the Slicksters. But before we do that, we have got a battle to run in Stream Raiders. Let's just check how far out we are on this one. When you're next going to be active, 5.1 cycles. So let's go and check out Stream Raiders. All right. While all of that's going down, there's a couple of things that we can do with the CO2. We're going to have a volcano down here. A proper volcano at that. It'll be spewing out 234 kilos of 1,700 degree magma. Is it magma when it's in the interior of an asteroid? But it's a cavernous interior. Because obviously it's magma when it's in the ground and lava when it's out of the ground. There's magma in a volcano, but a volcano spews lava. But is the part that matters is that it's outside of the, it's on the surface of the body from which that magma comes from. Because would this technically be on the surface, or is it just still it's still the interior because it's inside the asteroid? It's not on the surface of the asteroid, but we've hollowed it out, so it's effectively got a surface on the inside. It's confusing, so confusing. It is an underground magma vent, but can this really be considered underground? I mean, I guess it is. I mean, it's cavernous, but it's still inside. But we've turned this asteroid's insides into its outsides. I don't know. Either way, when we set this up, I can just have CO2 pass through it. I can run CO2 through the room in the same way that I'll be running the igneous rock out. That way I can heat that CO2 up quite a lot. And then I'll just need to run it in an insulated pipe all the way over to the Slickster Ranch, which we're going to be building somewhere over here, I think. Somewhere in this general vicinity. Now, as always, a ranch is considered a ranch only if it is 96 tiles. That's not too terrible. You can easily deal with that. But how do we want to roll with this? How do we want to set this up? And also, what are we going to do with the eggs? See, what we'll ultimately want is, first and foremost, we're going to want it completely done in mesh tile. Mesh tile will allow us to have... how far down? Let's bring it across by one. Mesh tile will give us the most bang for buck. We're going to need a grooming station. We're not going to need food, because the CO2 is their food. What we do want is for their oil to leak down. Now, the best design for us would be to have several of them, all kind of stacked up at the same, you know, one on top of the other. So all of the oil leaks down into one general reservoir. I think that's what we're going to need. Something about that big, I would say. What are you thinking, peeps? Now, if I make it 16 long, 16 is divisible into 36 in a fairly neat way, you'd have the room 6 tall. 6 tall, 16 long. 6 tall is a bit of a waste, though. 4 tall is what we usually want. So we would want... But is there any way that we can do something similar? Because I was going to say we could extend it, but we're kind of running out of room around there to do that. But could we do something similar to what we've got over here, where we use the extra space for storage? Because that would give us extra room, but then we'd have to account for the additional tiles that would be taken out of the room. But that would give us the maximum amount of Slicksters that we could have in there. If you plan on grooming them, it makes sense to build it tall and narrow to make the distance to the grooming station short. Yeah, no, that is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. In that case, we may want to do something like this, and just everywhere in the room is mesh tile, so it always drains down. Have everything down here, because what we could have is exactly the same setup: an incubator, a autoloader. And, well, it's less useful for the Slicksters, but it would allow us to move the eggs around very neatly. There is that. There is that. We would be able to move the eggs around much, much more neatly. That's 9 by 13 to take account for the... Oh, well, of course, there's 7, so it's 21 taken out of it. But, we'll do that. Okay. 9 by 13. We'll start with the roof. And I kind of like building, the idea of building the roof right at the top here. We would need to pump out all the other gases, but, it's okay. CO2 is obviously a very heavy gas. Actually, we could have the ceiling empty. We could have the ceiling open to allow the non-CO2 gases up. In fact, it doesn't matter what's in there. All that matters is that the CO2 at the bottom that's accumulated at the bottom is there, because that's where the Slicksters are going to be. In fact, no, actually, if I do it that way, having a mesh floor is going to allow the CO2 down. Because what I was going to say is, oh, actually, this would work perfectly. If I had them stacked on top of each other, I just had the CO2 kind of be cradled in a little area like this. And then, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter what gas is up there. But if I want that stacked and for the CO2 to run down, then that would cause me issues. Hey, Aavak, how are you doing? I'm doing well, Xenophoid. Thank you very much for asking.